So let's go and talk to our Miss Majestic, who is now in studio. How are you, Miss Majestic?
I'm doing pretty good. I can't believe it's Thursday. I'm ready for Friday and the weekend. I'm feeling a little tired today, but
yeah, why is that?
I don't know.
We're not.
I guess when we feel
Sometimes.
tired, we just blame it on the weather.
But
But today's going to be a little bit better. It's always like, later in the day, I was telling you yesterday how it gets a little sunnier and then I get more energy and off we go.
Yeah, dog days of summer. We're in it for sure.
How are you doing this morning?
Kind of the same. It's that, I wake up in the middle of the night and then I can't sleep forever and ever. And then I finally get that second wind to sleep only to be woken up by my alarm. And I just feel like I just should have stayed up since 3 in the morning.
Did you get the storms at your house?
Got it.
Woke me up last night.
The wet driveway, the wet truck. It's happening.
Yeah.
It's just wet all the time now.
Yeah.
But that's okay because today is the drought monitor comes out today.
It is. So let's get to it because we have good news, and I feel like we were so repetitive over the last several months saying the drought monitor looks bad, it looks bad, we need rain, and we've been getting the rain. And so this just came out at 8:30 this morning, so it is nice and fresh. This is what we know. We have seen improvements in every single category but one. So when you look at this graphic here, you see those little green boxes around the percentages? That means that we have seen improvements in that category. There is one red box, and it's in South Carolina with that exceptional. So there is a small part of South Carolina still holding on, and that small part has actually gotten worse since last week. The rain that we have had has been so sporadic, it's been so random. Some areas get slammed with heavy rain, other areas hardly see anything. Not only that, but when you're looking at this graphic too, the little area shaded in gray, we have some up in the mountains. If you look there, you can see a little bit up in the North Carolina mountains there, and then out towards the Outer Banks, that's that dark gray. That's indicating that we are not only not in a drought, but we're not even dry anymore. So again, took us all the way until August to start to see these really good improvements, but you know what, we will take it. It doesn't mean that we're out of the drought though. It just means that we're steadily heading towards the right direction. So if you're curious, well, how much more rain do we need to get out of this drought? It seems like we've been in it forever. Well, believe it or not, in order for us to get out of the drought completely here in Charlotte, we would have to get over 16, almost 17 inches of rain all in 1 month. Now, that's not going to happen, I don't think. I mean, that would be way too much rain to receive in 1 month. Now, in 3 months, 23 inches of rain. But we're gradually heading towards the right direction. So hopefully, once we hit fall, we'll be out of that drought because fall is one of my favorite times of the year, and we need those trees to have lots of moisture in order to get those beautiful, bright fall colors. Now, let's break down our forecast today, starting out with a few clouds out there, similar as to what we saw yesterday. I do suspect that we'll get some sunshine later in the day, still mixed in with some storm potential. This is what it looks like way high up above. I always love this camera because of how high it is. This is out in Dallas, and it shows us what is above the clouds that many of us are seeing this morning. So hopefully we'll be able to tap into that sunshine. I think we will. And temperatures right now, we're into the mid-70s. 76 degrees here in Charlotte, 81 there across Drought. Warm start to the day, and up in the mountains into the mid to upper 60s. Now, yesterday got a little hotter than we were forecasting because of that afternoon sunshine. So 89 degrees is where we topped off for our Wednesday. Today is Thursday, and we are back into the 90s. Did you miss the 90s? We haven't had them for a while. We've been kind of settled into the 80s over the last few days, and that's actually just below our average. So 90 degrees is spot on, exactly where we should be for this time of the year. So very seasonal conditions all around, I would say. All around, because we're also used to a somewhat stormy weather pattern in the afternoon hours. It's very random. Not everyone gets the storms, but you gotta get ready for them again this afternoon and this evening. Whenever we have the summertime heat and humidity, remember that's just that fuel for the storms to help them to develop into the afternoon. And I'm noticing on our timeline right around 5, 6, 7 o'clock, this is specific for Charlotte. We could see a couple couple of cells pass over, that could bring a heavy downpour, gusty winds, some lightning strikes. So perhaps on your drive home from work, just be on the lookout for that. This is big picture perspective really across the southeast this morning. It's quiet. Hopefully we'll be able to hold on to a bit more sunshine. I'm noticing there as we're looking at satellite and radar how a lot of our clouds are starting to taper off. We had a little bit of patchy fog this morning, but not as bad as what we have seen the last couple of mornings. And a big reason for that is because we had clouds. When we have clouds, the fog doesn't really develop. We need nice clear conditions for that fog to get bad. So we didn't see the fog really a whole lot this morning like we did yesterday with the clear skies. After school forecast, because our South Carolina students are back in class, you can see it's still going to be toasty for them if they have any after school sports activities. Still going to feel hot into the mid to upper 90s with a pop-up shower or storm still possible. So let's walk you through my Futurecast. This is what radar could look like around 2 o'clock. So you see that dark gray, that's just indicating where we have clearing conditions. The white is indicating the cloud coverage. So there's a good chance we get some afternoon sunshine. That'll hopefully give everyone a little motivation. If you want to do something outside today, it should be a nice afternoon, but I do need you to watch again for pop-up showers and storms. Here's 6 o'clock. We'll be watching especially areas north of the I-40 corridor. These storms are so random, it's almost impossible for us to specifically tell you when a storm is going to pop up in your neighborhood. But I would say anytime after 2 o'clock up until 8, 9 o'clock, it is fair game. And that does include the Charlotte area. But if we get a storm, it's not going to last long. And we don't have any severe weather potential either. It's just kind of what we would expect for a summertime weather pattern where you have the storms, brings the rain, couple rumbles of thunder, and then it clears out and we could be back to sunny skies. Now this takes us into tomorrow, heading into our Friday. Temperatures start out into the low 70s. A lot of cloud coverage at first. We'll see a little bit of sunshine by mid-morning, early afternoon. And then Friday, if you have Friday night plans, it's going to be warm. I mean, it's going to feel really sticky for your Friday evening. Seems like a lot of the shower and storm activity stays off to the north and to the west of us for the bulk of our Friday. But again, we'll be watching for 1 or 2 random storms that could sneak in. This weekend, we do have a little bit of a change in the weather forecast. Those 90s have held steady, but instead of a lot of the activity arriving on Sunday, seems like there's just a greater chance of active weather now on Saturday. Not enough for you to change your plans. Nothing like that. I'm still keeping my Saturday plans. I'm just going to be more aware that we could see more scattered rain and storm showers instead of very isolated, where it's kind of like 1 or 2 storms. We could have numerous and all in the same area, but then they're quick moving. None of these should be slow whatsoever. So a warm weekend, that is indeed, with 90s ahead, and you can see our overall rain chances. We have rain chances every day in the next 7 days, but the best 2 days will be today and then again on Saturday, but even at that, it's less than 50%. As far as our temperatures go, again, average high is 90 degrees, and we should hit that today. It's going to be a little different because we've held steady into the 80s for several days in a row, which means we've had several days with below average temperatures. Really, tomorrow is not going to be all that noticeable with a high of upper 80s, 89, and then there we go. We're going to crank up the heat next week. Now, I think that will really be noticeable. A high of 94 on Tuesday. Once you factor in the humidity, could feel up to around 100 degrees again. Jerry Hunt Supercenter 7-day forecast. It looks like this. Again, if you have clouds outside in your neighborhood this morning, I do think we'll get some sunshine later on in the afternoon. It's kind of just that weird type of weather where all at the same time we could see sun, clouds, and a storm all happening. You know what I'm talking about? And then it stops raining and the sun is just out there. It's going to be another one of those days. Overnight lows again drop down into the low 70s, so heading out the door for your Friday, plan for low to mid 70s. Going to feel a little warmer because it's definitely going to be humid still. Friday doesn't look too bad whatsoever. Actually looks like a nice Friday evening. And then Saturday and Sunday, not perfect, but rain chances seem to be a bit higher on Saturday. Remember, if you get one of those storms right now, I'm not seeing any severe weather potential. It'll be fast moving, so it might kind of rain heavily, you know, those heavy downpours, and then it's out of here. Next week, I think the big talker will be the return of the high temperatures with mid to upper 90-degree temperatures across our area. So likely going to feel like we're right around 100 degrees at times.
What are you talking about?
Well, listen, I just tell the weather.
Ugh.
I just tell the weather.
I was hoping just to keep on stepping down a little bit. Hover around 80. I'm good with that. 85. Well,
That would be nice.
Mama said. Mama said there'll be days like this.
That's true.
All right. Thank you, Majestic.
Of course.